So how my mom's neighbor testify against me for being a school shooter, like the Elizabeth Kratom argument, and for Crestview and Port federally, the Elizabeth Trazodone argument, is that Sarah Underwood signed that contract for me. And at that time, if she didn't sign it and I wasn't kept with the prosecution office and I had guns around me because Ted Grove got me the hunter safety license and all of that and didn't check my box for weapons or anything, I was planning a mass shooting at Scappoose High School. How I was planning this mass shooting was I was planning the distribution of guns and I was learning how to distribute these guns. These guns were going to get distributed to people. And then through that distribution, I could cover my own weapon hiding. I could carry weapons in the high school without anybody knowing. I could fucking kill whoever, just like Sam Garcia, who carried that 45 around the high school, right? So, with that 78-year-old lady knowing about how social security goes and being an informant and just you have immunity and your daughter's lawyer from California could come through Zoom to defend you and get money for your defense too, because they have a Oregon State bar license, and so does lawyers from Washington State, and that's not why they set up the Oregon State Bar Referral Service. What I was planning to use Sarah, and I honestly got to admit, I was so hateful for that contract and what Sarah Underwood did for me for even signing that in front of my face, that all I could think about was to shoot up my whole high school. That's why I also got placed in different schools and why I was placed in and out of jails and psych wards. And this is exactly how I grew up. This is why my mom's job was to make me a felon, because after I got out of high school, I hated everything I did. At everyone in those schools. So what I was gonna do in school so I could now. They kept contracting me, and every contract just made me want to go back into that high school and fucking shoot it up. That's why I had the information on Christopher Mercer. It wasn't for my mom to prove how she was envious of Christopher Mercer's family and how Christopher Mercer could just kill himself after doing something like that. My mom could play like she could play University of Idaho with this 78-year-old lady. After she does the casino stuff and does the governor hit on herself. No, it was. I was just pissed. I was boiling inside. I didn't know what to do. You know, I hated every the ones I fought for. The reason I fought for those contracts because I wanted to, because I knew I could. So everything in court was worth nothing. But this lady here, she's gonna stop a mass shooting. She also is gonna use her medical records to hurt a baby in a hospital, but that's for custody battles for her own child who has partial custody of her daughter in California, because my mom's immunity is used to give other lawyers immunity so they could come here and talk through Zoom. And that's what COVID-19 is for too. She knows a lot about it. It's really nice living around a lady like that. That's who I would want to live around. And like I said, when I was planning my mass shooting and my mass killings, my mom allowed it. She didn't care. Neither did my judges or anything. They didn't make me a felon when I was a teenager or any of that. So I could have weapons. So I sat around with weapons in my room, not skateboarding, not using any videotapes, not doing anything. I just sat around planning fucking to kill people, because that's what people do. That one, they're completely sober as children too, in criminal defense classes and forensic science. You just sit in your bedroom afterwards and just plan to kill people. But like I said, with this stuff and this old lady, I don't know. I could come up with a whole plan to shoot up Scappoose High School, and I could tell you how it could be done. Because I spent so much time when I was a kid thinking about it. All alone in my bedroom, no friends, no contracts. All my contracts against me for my mom's SSI. And so my aunt Diane's pussy and her marriages could build up her SSI, and that goes against Lyle Boone for the Rose Heating lawsuit with retard Dale Gray. I just sat there stewing, not thinking about how to take care of my family, not thinking about how to do everything right. I just sat there planning a school shooting, weapons all around me, not a felon. And this lady lives around people like that all the time. And she narcs on them all the time, too. Really good lady. Yep, that's why, you know, my mom has her. Imagine if I was in high school and all this was going on. And I didn't have drugs or alcohol or medication. And I just lived around this rapist bitch and her rapist daughter. Because she thought that her daughter's high school was set up for her. That's probably why Keith Gray in 2011 at the Pony Express down here, they were setting up their grade. That's why Keith Gray's grade set up, all that stuff. This lady down here who just terrorized this old guy trying to get his SSI taken from with the probation department because that's their job. And all of Diane's kids must be on SSI. And Randy's trying to scam it because he's a drug addict, and she's going to testify against him with with that. So Randy can't get his SSI. And all I thought about in my bedroom was the hate I have for all these people. How I'm going to shoot up school. Not how I'm going to chase criminals down. Not how I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me to save somebody's life if I have to. Not how I'm going to fucking. You see that little lip thing? For the loss of being creative thing. Fuck, my tooth was bleeding too. You want to know why I lost my tooth? Kid was going to get the fuck beat out of him in prison. A small kid. And then I took it and shoved it back in my fucking. I ran the class for an hour at age 15. Well, fucking bleeding, dude. So bad while running the class. I had to fucking put my hand out just so I could keep talking to people because I didn't want blood all over the floor because blood was just going everywhere. Just so that kid couldn't get his ass kicked. Still friends with him. Became friends with him right after. Told him I respected him for what he did. Those boys would have beat his fucking ass. That's what I do. I sit around some 78-year-old lady thinking about school shootings all day. And the Secret Service profiling mass shooters for state senators and having immunity with lawyers in other states and thinking that's how immunity works for the practice in Oregon and our state. And that's what it's used for my personal defense for SSI increases. Because as long as my Aunt Diane uses her pussy and her ex husbands to get more SSI, not out of Jeff Vedemeyer or all those divorces and shit, that's how it works when you're 78 years old. Probably what her daughter's doing. So if her daughter ever gets with another man, she's probably trying that shit, trying to scam them, trying to scam her fucking current fucking husband. Because that's how these people are. That's how I am. I sit in my bedroom thinking about mass shooting. Clackamas Town Center. How it's used for my closure. Outdoor. How it's used for the volunteer. Envious of it. You know? Not like my mom and Keith and them who are envious of trying to create a mass shooter and make it happen. But that's what they're thinking. I'm envious of these people. I've been accused of maybe doing something in my life. Well, maybe one day I'll get accused of maybe stop something doing. Real things is things you don't hear about. Real things you don't know about. But I'm asking to go out again. But I just sit around for this lady thinking about school shootings and shooting up the school. Her daughter and her daughter's whole grade is protecting me around here in Rosebud. Everybody in her daughter's high school is. Has been since the 2011 Pony Express set up. Doesn't show how Keith never got to kill anybody. He got shot to stay out of Vietnam, but got training too. So maybe it would be cool if like I did. Or I thought it was cool like that. Be cool if I was never fucking shot him, right? Just so I could talk about it on fucking camera. That'd be real cool, right? But like I said, for that old lady's testimony, I want this whole thing played in court. I want all played in court for her lawyer, and her daughter's lawyer in California. Because they're going to prove that I really am a mass shooter and always was. And that's why Sarah Underwood had me. And if I have to protect Sarah, I'll give up the info that I was going to fucking commit a goddamn mass killing. Because I was. For real. Like I said, I'd be fucking good at it too. Yeah, that should all be played for court. Yeah. Imagine if I would have got any of that money and I invested it into guns when I was younger. Mass destruction could have happened. Imagine that testimony from all them people great above me and don't walk on my fucking property without my goddamn permission. Fuck you doing here? Like, it's some kind of creep out? You get the fuck out of here. Yeah, this ain't no goddamn class tour. You didn't call me. For real. I was going to commit a mass shooting. Mass one if I didn't have all those contracts ordered down too. And they're all used to testify just for this lady who's 78 and my mother to get increased SSI and Dale to get increased in his SSI. And all of them that are on probation are on SSI and have been paying the probation department with their SSI, and it's a scam. It's great shit. And I hate everybody for it. Because of that hatred, I'm going to take a gun. Walk into a place. Blast it. Motherfucker. I don't know. Because that'll fucking help. It's not funny. Not funny. Funny to other people. Shit like that. Actually. But, you know, one of Diane's kids might be able to get SSI. And this lady that's 78 with her 82-year-old husband who does coding, who she was going to like set up Clausen on the child molestation thing to protect her husband from my mom's car hit and all that other shit, the Lee hit, all that stuff. He could get SSI. There's only one of Diane's kids. And he should go to prison for it. It could set up all that. So what you do with people when they're disabled is you just terrorize them into committing crimes. It's called fun. When I was a real rat, all I did was sit in my bedroom and just terrorize people into committing crimes around my community. Shitload of crimes. Yeah. They're serious. Like 78-year-old lady just yelled at me. Can't hear it on my YouTube, but yeah. She goes, I was going to shoot up the school. There's going to be some serious testimony for her daughter's lawyer and her for the Clausen thing. That's why I was contracting for Clausen. So they're pretty fucking serious. But I figure if I do anything like that, I should make a vlog about it. That way could show the mental terrorism it cost me to do it. Around for me, if I ever did anything like that, so I never would think about doing anything like that in Columbia County. But here, I'm not gonna fuck about these people. They're pieces of shit. They're terrorists, dude. Who the fuck cares about them? It'd be because of that. I guess I had a more privileged life, though, like most people say. Maybe it caused me to have a different outlook. My mom had a more privileged life, too, but her family didn't, and neither did Dale Gray. And really, my grandpa should have paid for retard's trailer, you know? And this lady's going to testify for that, too. They're pretty serious. But if you walk into the front doors of Scappies High School, you got fucking order there. You go down the hall to the counselor's office, everything. Hit back through CB and all that. Come back up, circle back, fucking shoot up whole school if you really want to. It's built like a box. About that the whole time. Well, there's two entrances too. So there's different ways you can do to get through the second entrance of the first place. Or you go through the fucking cafeteria too. So the best time if you were gonna kill all the kids, especially during COVID, would be during the cafeteria thing because they probably weren't really going off campus and shit because of COVID when they were at school. So you probably kill as much of the children there as possible as long as you went through the fucking front cafeteria doors. You're not going to get teachers or anything. I mean, if you're after that, but you'll get the children as much as you want. That's what I thought. You know, we didn't do fun things like skateboard outside of school, make everybody happy, do corn dog, fucking climb up in the fucking giant ass tree, freak out the fucking security guard, and fucking make everybody laugh. No, we didn't do that kind of shit when I was a kid. My life has always been a depressing shit. But this 78-year-old lady, she knows so much about all that stuff. Can't wait for her attorney. Who won't even put a motion in my box to talk to my attorney and hasn't for 7 years. She just threatens people every day. Sits in her house yelling like a piece of shit, proving what she did with her social security. Became a criminal. And then used all the money from social security criminally. But Randy is threatening Diane with getting social security. We can't have that happen. She's going to use Diane to testify against Randy, and that Rhonda was going to let it happen. And that was a crime. It's for the Cell of Arts trailer did on it. As long as you're paying Social Security until you're 62, not 65, that's fine. Like my mom always said, she gets disability. They pay into Social Security for her since 47, so she's never had to have a job since 47. And her job with Dale obviously went so well. I wonder if my mom didn't graduate college from Phoenix because of her dyslexia. Makes a lot of sense that she graduated high school out here with her brothers and everything. But yet, at some mysterious point, she was in college in Arizona. Because that never, well, fuck it, I'm not going to say it never happened, but I thought it was Utah. Now it's Arizona. She's dyslexic, so she doesn't know where she went to college at. Or where she graduated high school from. Even though I got her high school graduation book. I got it in my bags at Vermont. Probably just doesn't want to admit that she lived with her mom until my dad came around. That's most likely. But as for me, a 78-year-old lady, she's getting some good school shooter Umpqua Community College intelligence and good from that. Weird living around. Some people. Hey, maybe kids around here get SSI. And they shouldn't. And that's why people are so sick. Just this lady. Because where I came from, no one gave a fuck. But, Gray family, with their promise with this elderly lady, made this racketeering deal for all this shit. And now everybody has to deal with it. In the end, I'm gonna listen to some music.